took over.
Yeah.
How did we do then? Is it like Manchester United, you know, Sir Alec leaves and there's big shoes to fill and all that sort of stuff?
I think that's, you couldn't have put it any better. I think it was as anybody would admit, he would be a hard act to follow, but we certainly started off and we were doing not too bad. We were kind of finding a reasonable sound, and I think maybe you could maybe say the biggest flaw was trying to just keep things going in the same vein.
Aye.
So what I mean is, what worked for Ian might not necessarily work once Ian has left. And I think maybe the problem was we just try to keep things ticking over the same way. Aye. And doing the same things. And I mean, the band did win a championship at Ayr, if I remember right, and we pretty much figured in the top 6.
Aye.
Throughout the whole 4 or 5 years.
Of course.
That Harry had the band.
Aye.
But again, I think the expectations were we wanted to get right back up there where the band had been, and it kind of got to the point that I think we were running out of ideas, running out of ways to try and progress us. And
what about the personnel? The same personnel were available?
Pretty much. We brought in another 2 or 3 pipers who were of the standard, not a problem there. But we just seemed to lose a bit of direction. You know, we got to the end of I can't remember what season it was, and there was nothing new coming forward. We didn't have a new medley made up. We didn't have any March of Spain reel that was going to replace, and it just seemed we were going to be ticking over with the same stuff we had played the year before.
How was the drum corps at that time?
Well, John Kirkwood had the drum corps, I think, the first season, and then Roddy Darragh took over. Again, Roddy never really got a chance to settle in and find his way with it. There was a lot of conflict, and there were people interfering with the musical side of the band that shouldn't have been interfering with it, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the musical side of the band, the pipe major and the lead drummer were in charge of the musical side of the band, but you had senior officers that were in overall charge, and that's where the conflict started to come, rather than just leave the lead drummer and the pipe major to do their bit, and then the operational policing side done by the other senior officers in the band unit.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't done, and that caused, for me, that caused no end of harm, and I don't think that helped with Harry and Roddy's, with their confidence. Uh-huh. When it was getting undermined.
Yeah.
And as you can probably well imagine, when it gets to that stage, then it's pretty much an uphill battle.
Aye.
And it was a good time. It was a good time.
Had you to play in this in the background? Yeah.
Well, it got to, let's say, we were going to be looking at I think it was really just the turn of the year, and we didn't have anything new at all. There was nothing in the pipeline. And we were kind of saying, well, what's happening? Are we going to be getting a new medley? Are we going to be getting a new March of Spain reel? And there was no answer, and nothing was coming forward. And rightly or wrongly, there was the decision made, not just by myself, but there were other people who were unhappy, and again we were taken in by senior officers and asked what the problem was with the band. And it was expressed that we didn't really think that we were going to be getting anywhere, and we didn't see there was going to be any improvement going into the next season. And there was basically a meeting took place, and we decided we were going to change the pipe major. Mm-hmm. And I was brought in as a pipe major. It was a vote that was taken, and the majority of people voted. And in all honesty, I think it was a weight off Harry's shoulders. Uh-huh. Because I think he was finding it very hard to cope with. I think, like I said, his confidence had been undermined to such an extent that he found himself not confident in anything that he was doing. Looking back, I think that was really what the whole problem
was. Was there a view at that particular time that Harry had been undermined in any way?
Well, I think the season prior to that, there's a few of us had been taken in one at a time and said, how did we feel it was going?
Aye. Who was interviewing you at that time about that?
That was John Wilson asked us in.
Okay.
And asked us frankly, what do you think?
Aye.
And I think each to a man we said, well, we need to give Harry the time to settle in.
Aye.
He needs to be given the time to find his way with it and make any changes. And bearing in mind, by that time we had Roddy Darroch as the lead drummer. So that, as you're aware, that takes time. That can take years.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that time was given.
A wee bit impatience for progress.
Yeah.
Probably all the band.
Yeah.
Harry included, that he would just want to see the band being successful.
Yeah. And I think John Wilson basically took on board. There was maybe, if I remember it, was maybe about half a dozen of us, and he took on board. We all collectively.
How did Harry feel about that? Did you? Well, you've already said he felt it was a weight off his.
Oh, you mean when he get moved in? I know he took it hard, but I think it was, again, it's good that I can put things right here, because that wasn't just my decision that was taken by Harry. That was a collective decision. It was overwhelming. It wasn't like there was a kind of knife edge vote on that. It was overwhelming. Harry did take it hard, yeah, but I felt that the couple of years after, when he played with the band, I felt he was a more relaxed person. Still played for me, 100%.
Yeah.
The way he did under Ian McClellan, absolutely no problem there. So, and he was always a fantastic player. I had the utmost respect for Harry as a player.
Who was supporting you as pipe sergeant at that particular point?
At that time, it was Gavin and Jimmy Wark.
Right.
I brought in. I think Jimmy Wark was a pipe sergeant, so we left Jimmy as a pipe sergeant at the time. But as time was going on, I was thinking, well, we need to try and bring young people in, get young people, because none of us are getting any older and younger. And at that time, I thought it was a good idea to bring Gavin and make him the pipe sergeant to try and bed him in, sort of thing. And
so it was Gavin Walker.
Gavin Walker, sorry,
yeah.
Give him a wee bit of responsibility and develop him.
Okay, fair enough. And you remember I maybe got in touch with you after a period that I don't know, in the late 90s, about McCallum's chanters.
Yeah. We had been playing the Shepherd chanters and the Shepherd reeds, and I was delighted with them. But what I found on a couple of occasions, I was finding it very, very hard to get reeds to go in the chanter. And I wasn't able to get what I initially could get from them. And I thought, well, maybe now's the time to move here, because let's try something new. I always liked it. If you remember, we tried the Ross bags with the canisters in them, and I thought, let's try that. And I remember at Bridge of Allen, Ronnie McShannon coming over with Roddy McLeod and handing me some of the Easy drone reeds then. I thought, let's try them and see how they go. And if they go, then we could be on to a winner here. If we try them and don't like them, then there's no harm done. And it was
so
the same
did you move
chanters.
on to the Ross bags before the McCallum chanter? Or?
I think it was, yeah, if I remember right. It was before the McCallum chanter.
And then you moved on to the McCallum chanter.
Yeah.
Is it Mark 1, I think it was?
It would have been the Mark 1.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was the same reason. I thought, well, let's try something new, let's try something different. If it works, good. If it doesn't work, well, there's no harm done. And Kenny and Stuart were superb. Anything that we wanted done. If I remember right, I think I only maybe get one hole moved. I think it was the F hole. I get moved down a wee bit, and that was it. It was ready to go. Okay,
so you come down here. My recollection was I picked you up at your house and brought you down here, and you spent 4 hours here. And you were playing very well at that time, and you gave everything a good examination, away with some chanters. And long story short, you played them at Guruk that year, that season. That was your first outing with them.
Yeah, with the Troy Reeds.
Aye. It was quite a high pitch, wasn't it? If I recall.
Well, that's a strange thing you should say that, because that very same chanter I've still got, and I had some old Troy Reeds. When I say old Troy Reeds, I hadn't played them, but I had them in a box, and when I started playing again maybe about 2.5 years ago, I got one going, and I thought it'd be interesting when I had started playing with the Power, the Scottish Power, sorry, and I got one of the wee Korg meters and measured where the Scottish Power were, and it was sitting at 4, 5, 6 at the time. I think that was at the start of a practice, so it maybe go a wee touch higher, and I thought I'm going to take the Korg meter home, because I'd never used it before, and I'm going to try this chanter that I've been playing in my own pipes, and it was 4, 5, 6.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So you're looking at 16 years ago.
Aye. And what is it, the standard at the moment with the Korg? What is Scottish Power, for instance?
Well, Chris will maybe keep me right here, but I think they started at 4, 5, 6, and obviously depending on a hot day or the conditions outside, it would probably rise to maybe about 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 8, maybe at a push.
So it's still within the bounds, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting that. So you had the police band, you had a reasonable